quickly, because I don't want to run out of time. There's quite a few super chats on this. It says, funny how people think Sesko to Arsenal means Arteta has an imbalanced amount of power. Berta surely rates the striker too. I mean, that's the rhetoric coming out. But it's been said today, gents, that it's like universal approval to move for Sesko. Nobbins, do you think that's the right move for Arsenal? Is he the right man to maybe finally get them over the line with a major trophy for Arteta?
No, I like Sesko, but I think that he's not a win now player. I think that he's a player that you need to be patient with. And Arsenal right now should be in a win now mindset, with a win now squad, with win now players. So I don't think Sesko improves them. Improves them to that point. If it is an upgrade in Havertz, if you think it is, I don't think it's a big enough upgrade to push them over the line. Much more work would need to be done. Not to say it's a bad signing in a vacuum, but with all the context of everything else at Arsenal, I don't think it takes them to Premier League champions. No.
But Benjamin Sesko is not the upgrade on Kai Havertz that I've been told that Arsenal need this whole season. I've been told Arsenal are right on the cusp, and all they need, that Arsenal create loads of chances a game. All they need is this striker who knows where the back of the net is. Benjamin Sesko does not score at the level that Arsenal need to justify him being the guy picked, in my eyes. If they're after a striker, Kai Havertz does a lot of good work. Kai Havertz's problem is that he doesn't score enough. He loses confidence too much in front of goal. What Arsenal need is someone who doesn't lose any confidence in front of goal. If you give him 4 chances a game, he'll score 1. Kai Havertz will miss the first chance and then won't take any more. He'll try and pass after that. Sesko will have 4 chances and might miss them all. Or he won't get the 4 chances because he's not in the position where he needs to be. He's not read the game well enough. I think Arsenal, if they are on the cusp, as they say they are, if they are ready to take that next step forwards, a 22-year-old who might be what they need now in 2 years' time is not the way forwards. I think you almost need to be a little bit less forward-thinking and be a little bit more in the moment, because even though I've picked up what City have done, it might take a bit of time for everyone to settle. Liverpool are seemingly going through a bit of an overhaul this one. We're selling a lot of players. We're trying to bring in a lot of players. That might take a little bit of time to settle. If Arsenal are ready, like they say they've been ready, there is an opportunity this season, potentially. If they sign Benjamin Sesko and they don't get it, I have absolutely zero sympathy for them. I have zero sympathy for them because it'll be on their own back, I feel, that they haven't got it correct. I think they need to get a guy like a Victor Gyökeres or a Matteo Retegui. Someone who is a clinical finisher at a high level, will score a lot of goals. Not someone who has 13 goals. He's outperformed his XG by 3. Maybe there's something to work with there if we just put him in the right environments, he develops. No, you need someone who can pick up, put in goals. That's the way I see it, because you cannot keep kicking this can of, we'll get there eventually with this project, down the road another year, down the road another year, down the road another year, because players will stop following them. Players will start to go, you know what? I can't wait another year for this guy to maybe work out. I can't wait another year for this guy to maybe work out. Let me go somewhere where my ambitions are matched. Let me go somewhere where they are buying the ready-made, so I'm not waiting 2 years to finally get an honour under my belt. Because that will start to go through players' heads if they get a Sesko this season and he has the same problems and he's not ready and Arsenal faltered again. That has to be...
And it still shows Arteta has the power. Arteta's still having the say. I know you mentioned it, Terry, about the narrative, but Berta was apparently the one rooting for Gyökeres. You've now got Sesko, who's been their boy. I mean, if Sesko was their boy, why didn't they get him in January? That would have helped. They had an injury crisis. If they were so set on him.
Leipzig said no.
So did they go in Jan?
Again, I'm only going by what the journalist has said. We asked Ben Jacobs this on Friday, and he said that they went in January and they were told no.
I still think this screams of Arteta getting the final say on it. And I agree with what Tom's saying. I don't think, 13 goals in the Bundesliga. Okay, he's not doing it at Bayern Munich, but you would expect him to come in and score goals. But if this is the guy Arteta puts his hat on, then you live by the sword, you die by the sword. He can't get any more chances if he messes it up this season. And it has to be a major for me. If I was an Arsenal fan...
The only way they do this and would go and win the league title is if they bring in Rodrigo as well. But that's very, very unlikely.
That'd be
You
a
need
lovely
to bring in
signing.
another goal
Ross.
scorer alongside Sesko.
That would
Sorry,
be
no,
great.
what did you say?
No, I was just gonna say I thought that would be a very good signing. It's something that I didn't really say, but I actually think that a player of that position would probably be more beneficial than an actual striker for Arsenal. I know it's not a case of one or the other, but if you had to, I actually think that that sort of play would be a bit more transformative.
Yeah, because they have the pieces now where that squad can be molded into a squad where the main goal scorers become the wingers. Saka can score to a good level. If Saka's given more responsibility to put it in the back of the net, he probably will do. But I think it's the worry with the left wingers that they're not consistent enough to match that.
Yeah, I mean a lot of Arsenal fans that I've listened to have said that that's one of the reasons why Berta and Arteta have agreed on Sesko, because he will bring the wide players into play more than a Victor Gyökeres will.
But they need a 9. They need a 9. The wide players will get into play. You would expect someone like what's his face, Odegaard, to be the one linking the wide players into play. Just get someone who's in the box who's going to score the goals for you.
Arteta really rates Havertz, and having Sesko in, he can rotate them both. That's one of the. I think that's what Ben Jacobs said on. It might not be on your show, sorry.
Yeah.
It was on another one, that if they bring in Gyökeres, where does Havertz go? If Sesko's there, okay, he might have
on the bench.
He might have more potential than Gyökeres, but I agree with what you're saying, that they need to bring in someone who's win now. If they go into another season and they don't win a league title or another major honour, then more questions are going to be asked. But
yeah,
Sorry, so is he being brought in as a backup then to Havertz?
well, I think Havertz will still be the number 9 for a lot of games.
So the starting 11's not getting better.
Oh my god!
The depth will be because when Havertz
what are we doing then?
He said Havertz will still play. Said Havertz will play.
Havertz will still play if they got in Gyökeres though.
No, I don't
There's
think
still a role for Havertz to have.
Pedigree there. You've got a 9 who scores goals.
Arsenal's justification for not signing Gyökeres and picking Sesko instead cannot be, we still need to play Kai Havertz. Because I've been told for 3 years,
who has said that though? Where has that been published?
What about Ben Jacobs said it?
Okay, I didn't know. I mean, I haven't read it.
Ben Jacobs said,
so he said he'll still play and be important, or will he start over Sesko?
He said, well, I think his exact words were something like, Kai Havertz will still have a very, very big role in this Arsenal team. But where is he going to play if it's not the number 9? He's not going to play in the 10 because they've got Odegaard and they've got Wanyeri. He's not going to go out wide because that doesn't work. So it has to be the 9.
I wouldn't be shocked if he did get played in 10 though, at points. I wouldn't be shocked because he's just... what I can give him over Odegaard is he works harder and he's a bit more physical about it. So the way a lot of teams now defend in a 4-4-2, with the 10 going up to the striker position alongside the number 9 and the wingers dropping back, that's what I could see happening with Arsenal at points. If Arsenal are up against a team that's got a very physical midfield, Kai Havertz drops into the middle to match them. And then they have the striker up top.
I've got the quote. It was in the Athletic. Whoever Arsenal sign, Havertz is expected to start the season as first choice up front, and he will play a lot more games than many expect. So that's the quote.
Sorry, not Ben.
You're going to hear the same excuses next year, though. Oh, we didn't
exactly.
visit Kai Havertz.
So I'm going to go to some super chats. Let me ask you other questions. If Sesko comes in, Wolfie, how many goals do you see him scoring next year?
15 to 20. He'll get goals, but
league goals.
Yeah, I think 15 comfortably. They'll create chances, but they need someone who's going to bag 20-25. That's what they need.
So you think he'll just be under that 15 to 20?
Yeah, about 15. I think he'll comfortably go.
I think best case scenario he gets like 12, and that's very best case scenario.
If he's rotating with Havertz,
I wouldn't be shocked
if he's rotating a lot less. Yeah,
like I don't see what everyone else sees with the Sesko kid. He hits the ball hard. That's it. He's not a
15 to 20 league goals now on your first season. It's not a bad return.
Yeah, but he scores goals, but they're not finishes. He's not finishing chances. A lot of his goals, they're from outside the box, or the headers at the back post against a fullback, which I don't think he's going to get many of. If I go look, because an Arsenal fan sent me a compilation of all his goals across the past 2 years, there's about 3 that I look at and go, that's a good finish. It's about 3 where he showed composure and picked the corner against the keeper in a one-on-one. Now, to me, that should be your bread and butter. The fact he's only got 3 across 2 years is a red flag for me. I'd be looking at that going, why are we not getting closer to 8, 9 out of them? Because if you got that, then I know you got the basics of finishing. I know I could give you a half chance in the box, and your fundamentals will put it in the net. Right now, I don't know if he's got his fundamentals.
Yeah, listen, I hear where you're coming from. I've got a few super chats for the end of the show here. The K here says Tom Little usually has howlers, but what's his name?
Retegui.
Shout is class uncommon. Tom W. Retegui is a baller, complete striker. Would love him at Chelsea. The narrative that's
in there somewhere.
The narrative that Sesko is wanted by all at Arsenal is PR. The same as they went in for Watkins in January. How do you go from Watkins to Sesko in just 6 months? Well, you look at the amount they offered for Watkins. Yeah. The way I hear way more the pressure is on Arteta from people who don't like Arsenal is what Magnum says here. Do you know what Isak's highest goal tally was at Sociedad? And it's nonsense that Arteta has the power. Just admit you've never watched him play. Sesko has a higher goal conversion rate than Osimhen, is what Wayne Sage says here.
Chris Wood has a higher than both of them. Would you take him over those two?
I think you have a better chance with your youth, Obi. You gain money if he is shit. You still making a profit regardless of Mitrovic. You won't. Homegrown, you will. Listen, I don't really care about making profit of him at this point. I'm just saying, I'm just throwing it out there as an idea. If we want to if we wanted 2 strikers and there's an option here to do a little bit of a deal, why not? We just need a tap-in merchant. We create a lot. Bring in a striker, Vlahovic, and tell him to hang around in the penalty box. Goal hanger, mate. Love a goal hanger. Tom is drawing conclusions out of his ass, is what Magnum says here. And Regulus here says, for Arsenal, Semenyo solves the left-wing problem. 11 goals, 5 assists, 16 GA whilst hitting the post 5 times in a press-heavy, tactical Bournemouth team. Listen, he's a good player, and I'm sure a lot of teams are going to be looking at him later this window. Look.